Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. I wanted to answer the question, how do you know if a treatment is effective? By looking at the probability. So an example is, suppose you had 104 people and they all went on a diet called Lose It or Live With It for 90 days. Also suppose that normally people who diet for 90 days on their own lose an average of 6.8 pounds with a standard deviation of 1.4 pounds. So you could ask yourself the question, what's the probability that one person would lose at least 8 pounds if they went on a diet? So our mean, our average here is 6.8, standard deviation is 1.4. I went into geogebra.org/classic pound probability and entered the mean and the standard deviation and said, what is the probability that X is greater than or equal to 8? At least means they could lose 8 or maybe more. And I found the probability to be about 19.5%, a little bit more. Okay, so then I said, what's the probability of 8 dieters losing at least 8 pounds? Well, if you're looking at a sample greater than 1, you have to change your standard deviation to the standard deviation of the mean. So then you're going to take your same mean, 6.8, your standard deviation, 1.4, divided by the square root of the sample. We're looking at 8 dieters, and that gives us a new standard deviation. So going to the same site and entering now the new standard deviation, I got a probability of 0.0072. So one person could be losing 8 pounds, but 8 people doing that is really the low probability. And I went ahead and do this for 85 people as well. You can see I have 85 as my n down here, and I got a standard deviation of the mean of 0.15. When I entered that, I got 0. So I didn't need to go any further. If I had entered 100, I would still get 0 the more and more you go. So it's would really be unusual for 85 people to lose more than 8 pounds. That would be a very unusual event, happening less than 1% of the time, 0.7% of the time. So then the question could be, if half of your dieters lost at least 8 pounds, could you say the diet was effective? And the answer is yes, because half of my dieters would be 52 people. And in 8 people, we had a really unusual occurrence of people losing more than 8 pounds. So if 52 people lost more than 8 pounds, that means that that's a really unusual, and that must mean that I'm doing something on my diet that is effective. So that's what we're asking there, is how can you tell if it's effective? It's effective if normally without the diet, the probability is lower than 5%. That's kind of the cutoff. So if it's less than 5% of the time, then it would happen by chance, and you can say what your treatment is actually being effective. All right, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.